Okay, so hopefully you guys have your lineups poured. Uh, the lineup order was in the email, but just to reiterate it, we're starting with Caol Ila 12, the official bottling. Everything else is an indie bottling in the lineup. Next up at number two is the single malt of Scotland Reserve Cask number 11, Caol Ila 11-year-old. Third is the Old Malt Cask 25th anniversary Caol Ila 2011 12-year-old. Fourth is the Port Askaig 17-year-old. Fifth is our one of our youngest KWM cask of Caol Ila that we have currently of the two, the single cask nation Caol Ila 8-year-old, finished in a Brazilian rum cask. Six is a Scotch Malt Whisky Society bottling called Supernaturally Sweet Smoke. And seven is the oldest of the bunch. It is our Gordon MacPhail Caol Ila single cask. Uh, I don't know. I could tell you guys a bunch of stuff about tastings we have going on, but check out the website. I think we'll just dive in because I'm super keen to get into this lineup. It's something that we've been talking about doing for a while is doing it as like a focused tasting on Caol Ila. And honestly, with the amount of Caol Ila bottlings we get, we could probably do three more versions of it with different bottlings just because Caol Ila is prolific. It's probably one of the things we'll talk about. We did say this is the workhorse distillery in the tasting name because it is. It's the largest distillery on Islay production wise by quite a bit. I think that's the next closest is Bunnahabhain, and it's almost twice the size production wise as Bunnahabhain Distillery is. It's been the largest distillery on Islay by production since the 1970s, and it's the largest Scottish distillery outside the Scottish mainland as well. Um, Watchman 999 says it's Diageo's saving grace. I will also give that 100%. Totally agree. There's some really good Diageo distilleries out there as well. I would rank Clynelish up there and probably Linkwood amongst others, but it is what everybody looks for from Diageo in a lot of cases is Caol Ila. Lagavulin has a lot of fans as well, but Caol Ila is just so much more easy to obtain in a lot of different styles. And that shows in the lineup tonight because we've got only one official bottling, which we'll be starting on with the sadly low alcohol 43% for the Caol Ila 12-year-old. So Harmony, you were saying that you tried this last night and
I
came
did.
away
I was
with a few
getting
thoughts.
excited about this tasting, and I thought, well, I'm excited about it. I should drink some before I go to bed. And I remember the 12 was the bottle, my first Isla whiskey, and it was the bottle that I just, after many other bottles of scotch, this is the one that sung to me the most. It had the most unique flavors. I liked the smoke. And I remember like declaring it my favorite distillery. And so I went back to this, and I was kind of saddened because the only distinctive thing I can really think I could think of last night was how much the smoke lingers uh, above everything else.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So this is actually my first time tasting the Caol Ila 12 in probably 6 or 7 years. I can't honestly remember the last time I had it. I've had Johnny Walker Black Label more recently than this. Um, I had a feeling that it would probably die in the lineup, and that's why I put it at number one. I mean, everything else is at higher strength too, which is a big part of it. Um, and everybody, fear not, Jeff is here, so we can all breathe a sigh of relief. But yeah, it's this is part of the official lineup that was first launched around 2002, if I remember correctly from reading. There's a 12, there was an 18, although that is not
Mhm.
been around much, at least in North America or in Canada, over the last few years. And then there's also a Caol Ila Mock, I think it's called MOCH,
Yeah,
which I don't think I've even tried.
me either.
Yeah, it's I don't know why you'd need a no age statement Caol Ila. There's plenty of that on the market already from independent bottlers, and it's probably going to be hard to beat. Yeah, I
Mm.
think it's a nice hat too, Jeff. Appreciate that. Um, but it's still worth a try just to see what the distillery and their owners want to tell us about Caol Ila and what they are saying Caol Ila is. And that's usually what a flagship bottling is meant to do. So do we get on this?
It's some like, fruit. Uh,
Hmm.
Nothing specifically jumps out at me.
Yeah.
It smells coastal, like you get that kind of
Yeah.
like oceanic vibe here.
Yeah, I agree. It's got that, like, I always think of Caol Ila as being an oily spirit, stylistically, and it does have this vaguely oily note to it.
Mhm.
Watchman says a bit musty compared to the others.
I would
Yeah, I
agree.
could
I
see
feel like
that.
it's
Yeah.
it's even in the smoke. I think like when think of Caol Ila in some expressions, and I think the ones that stick out to me, it has this like really fantastic kind of salty,
Hmm.
kippery, uh,
Yeah.
like beechwood and smoked salmon kind of combination. And this one isn't quite going in that direction. It's a little bit
Yeah.
different, mustier. Uh, but
Well, I
you
just,
can feel the bourbon influence, I think.
yeah. Well, and this is such a big part of Caol Ila too, is that like just about everything that they distill and put into cask gets put into either ex-bourbon barrels or refill casks. I kind of like that typically. I think Caol Ila
Hmm.
does fantastically in ex-bourbon.
Hmm.
Um, the palate's not bad on this, but yeah, it's if you're expecting or coming from something cask strength, it's gonna just be watery. Um,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a little bit salty, a little bit smoky, a little bit coastal. It does have some nice fresh barleys and malt still coming through.
I was gonna
Some nice
say it's
fruit
almost like a
notes. Yep.
dusty grain happening on the,
Hmm.
yeah.
I think I'd probably be happier with it, like taken in a vacuum. Like if this was the only whiskey available and that was what I was going to be drinking, like it's like, yeah, that's
Let's
a pretty good
talk.
dram.
Like
Yeah.
if you're at a bar, a typical restaurant bar, not a Scotch bar, and you're looking
Yeah.
at the Diageo core range 12-year-olds, what are you grabbing?
Yeah. That's right.
You're grabbing the Caol Ila, I
Yeah.
think, almost every time.
Yeah. What else would you take from just strictly a 12-year-old from Diageo? I
Well,
mean,
I
there's
mean,
Craiganmore.
even if you even compared some of the other big
Yeah.
entry level whiskeys, the Glenfiddich, the Glenlivets,
Yeah.
um, I mean, the 12 is consistently a solid whiskey. Um, but after having so many expressions, been years since I had it, and I was like, oh man, I don't. It's got obviously notes that I like. It's just not what I
Hmm.
remember. Um, but I also think, as we've said in previous conversations, it's a very adaptable whiskey and lends well to pretty much anything you put it in. So I never had
Yeah.
a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, yeah, like compared to any other 12-year-old on the market for your big like production 12s, like your Fiddicks and Livets and so on and so forth, I agree. And even from if you were just picking from Diageo's portfolio for their flagship bottlings, like maybe I'd take Oban 14 over this or Clynelish 14. But
Hmm.
if you're just looking at their 12-year-old range, it's got to be up there.
Hmm. It's finishing very minerally and like a bit chalky,
Yeah.
for me. Like, yeah, very chalky kind of. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
fine. It's fine.
So, Jeff, do you have those pointing the right way? You're saying Caol Ila is greater than Ardbeg 10, which is greater than Lafroig 10? Because, like, don't disclose your address there, because them's fighting words for a lot of people. I think
Evan,
Kurt would
maybe
come through the screen
specifically.
at you if he was here. Yeah, I
Um,
agree. Jeff wrong. I would. I'm sure Kurt would take Ardbeg 10. I'd take Lafroig 10 over Caol Ila 10. I think Lafroig 10 is still a pretty solid balling, but I'm still happy with it. It's good stuff. It's
yeah.
just when you look at the library of Caol Ila bottlings you could have that are probably around the same price as this one, which what is Caol Ila 12 currently?
I think it's $100.
It is around, yeah, $100. There's so like there's still a good handful, maybe two handfuls of Caol Ilas on our shelves right now that you could have for around that price,
Mm-hmm.
including a single cask that we'll get to later. So I guess that kind of just we set the bar sort of at a level where we can go under it or over it, no matter what we want to do from here. So let's go into something around the same age at a higher alcohol content. With the Single Malts of Scotland Reserve Casks, number 11. This is an 11-year-old. Vintage is 2012, and it is bottled at a nice 48% alcohol.
This smells like ice cold, like from the fridge margarine to me.
Oh, it does have that oily butteriness to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of that Caol Ila oiliness that I was thinking of, but it does like maybe it's a combination with I believe it was mostly ex-bourbon for this one. I'll have to check
Yes, this one's
coming
bourbon.
through.
I think it's 6 barrels.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there's definitely that really lovely, like coastal. There's a nice kind of fish, you know, fish note.
This is a refill sherry butt.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah,
fine.
it does say it. I'll share the our screen or my
Maybe
screen here. I've got the bottle up here as well with the
maybe
info.
I'm thinking of the
Um,
8 year that was bourbon.
yeah, we've had a few different of the SMOS reserve casks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We have.
but this is refill butt, 48% alcohol. Definitely oily. The sherry side of things doesn't really jump out at me. I'm still getting those margarine notes that you were talking about. I think that's such a great call.
It's still like very buttery, very creamy on the
Yeah.
nose. I'm getting like, yeah, like margarine or even I think I saw ice cream, so maybe it's just suggesting
Hmm.
those notes, but I'm still getting this like oily fish note.
Yeah. It's got like a touch of lychee meets chlorine pool to me, where it's like it's got that sort of um like just the pools of water at an ocean as the tide is that's left after the tide goes out. It's just got some of that salty, briny note to it. Nose
Mm.
is like it's going to be salty and oily at the same time.
Oh yeah, the palate is where those sherry casks really come through. It's great.
Oh,
Dark fruits, lots of spice, kind of
yeah, nice,
leathery.
like more robust and rich mouthfeel to it versus the OB 12-year-old as well.
Mm.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It just makes me think like even bump that 12-year-old OB bottling up to 46 even, and maybe you'd get something just a little bit more robust on on the palate, especially.
Hmm.
This is nice. It's not like really coloring outside the lines for what you would expect from Caol Ila,
Mm.
but considering this is like 15 more dollars for 48% versus the regular one, um, you can see that jump up that you get from this one.
Yeah. Which I think I would take this step down in age for the step up in ABV any day because this just like coats your mouth, nice long finish. It's got these like great grilled barbecue notes,
Yeah,
bacon spices. I think the nose and the palate are kind of quite different. Like it's a lot spicier than I
yeah.
expected it to be. But
Like a
yeah,
white pepper sort of spice to it, or
yeah, white pepper, but also ginger. Um,
hmm.
there's like some
Yeah,
spiciness. It goes like even like lemongrass
yeah,
comes
it does
through.
go into that territory. Lemongrass wise, I can see that even almost into not quite as piney, but like something slightly cilantro-esque.
Yeah. And it just, yeah, I'd pay the extra $14 to take a year off. And
Jeff got pickles through his cold.
oh, very
Maybe the
exciting.
brine. Yeah, the brine makes sense for me there.
What brand of pickles? No, I'm just kidding.
Hmm.
No, that's kind of cool. I'm kind of getting a little bit of these I just lost it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like corn to me. It's like,
Yeah, I can see
what-
that oiliness especially.
yeah.
Along with that pickle note, it does have just a slight mustard seed note that's coming through here now too.
Mhm. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Hmm. Right on. Well,
It
let's
does have
go
so it
on.
has a similar dryness on the finish though. I
It
gotta
does.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, maybe that refill cask is just a bit tired, like it's not coming from the wood necessarily. Well, it's maybe leaching out a bit more tannin, who knows.
Mm.
Let's go on to the Old Malt cask, 25th anniversary bottling. So this guy is bottled at
50.
50%. The good old malt cask ABV of choice.
Yeah.
So this would be something from Hunter Lang, which now has a distillery on Islay, which is our Noho distillery, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Old Malt Cask label, which was originally started by Douglas Lang before the big Lang brothers split that created two different companies, Douglas Lang keeping some of the portfolio and then the rest of the portfolio going off to Hunter Lang, including Old Malt Cask here. This is from a single sherry butt. Does not say whether it was first fill, but it says Manzanilla butt, I think, on the label there, if I can read correctly.
It sounds about right. There was some weird casks in
Yeah,
this
this
release.
is not cream sherry this time at least.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Mm. What a horrible choice that was.
The nose is a little bit more muted versus the last two. The smokiness, maybe I'm getting used to the smokiness as part of it, but it's got a touch of blueberry yogurt for me and some blackberry notes in there as well, going into some red and dark fruit notes.
Cool. Initially, I got butter, like I got Jeff's pickles and butter again.
Nice. It
Just
still
like
has that butteriness, that margarine note in there too, but full on blackberries in there as well for me.
the peat is going a little bit more medicinal for me on this
Yeah,
round.
a little bit like the smoke isn't like jumping out of the glass in the same way, but the peat is denser, it seems like. So PPM wise, Caol Ila for their peated stock, it's the same stock level or PPM level as, and the exact same spec as what's used at Lagavulin, made at Port Ellen Maltings, of course, which is also owned by Diageo. Doug, is Port Ellen malted at the same spec? They couldn't get creative and do something else at Port Ellen for it?
Well, I mean, they were doing it originally, so why should they
Yeah,
change?
that's true. That's true.
Interesting.
So
Um,
Caol Ila, Watchman asks, isn't Port Ellen stopping contract malting? So they did do some announcement about how they were going to be uh, limiting contracts and limiting the production that they were doing for third parties. That came out in 2022 or 2023, I believe, um,
okay.
around the same time that Port Ellen started coming online. I wonder if that changes now that we're kind of in a distillery glut, where business isn't as booming as it used to be, and there's maybe less production overall for everybody, where we're seeing some distilleries go down or go closed for months at a time before coming back up. Maybe they are selling malt to everybody now, but I haven't heard specifics on that.
I mean,
Doug says, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, but is Port Ellen not owned by Diageo? My
Yeah,
gosh.
but they did used to supply everybody essentially on
Yeah,
Isla,
but
including
I
like
feel
Ardbeg
like
and yeah.
if they were going to give to anyone, they maybe might keep it in the family a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe not as
exactly.
often, but maybe a
Yeah.
little bit. But I mean, obviously, what we have in our glasses is not going to be, or could be still parcels from
Hmm.
those malting.
Yeah. Yeah. So Doug says Lafroig now getting their malt from the mainland with almost no Isla peat. I think it was the same for Kilhoman, except for their
Yes.
floor maltings. Um, I'm sure it's probably the same for Ardbeg. It wouldn't surprise me if they still supplied or were supplying Boonhaven, just because Boonhaven was actually producing in Caol Ila's absence for quite a few years, where they contracted Boonhaven to make the same spec essentially when they were refurbishing the distillery back in 2011 and also in 2019, 2020, and 2021, if I remember correctly. Um, wow, that I did not know, Doug. Doug says Diageo owns a piece of Ardbeg. Is that Ardbeg specifically, or they own a piece of LVMH? Hmm. Even on the palate, this one's more muted in style, like not tightly wound, but it's actually softer than I expected for
Yeah, lots
50%.
of blackberries on this one,
Yeah.
and I think I can agree with Tom here that there's something like Hall's cough drops in this,
Oh,
and I think he's totally not far off.
yeah. Yeah, so you're talking about the blackberry, the purple foil ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it even does kind of veer into Halls and even Fisherman's Friends on the nose now that I'm thinking of it,
Mhm.
which makes sense. A touch of camphor. And it
Yeah,
has this, instead of going into margarine, it's almost got this like peanutty or peanut buttery note on the palate for me, like Reese's peanut butter cups on the finish.
interesting. I'm getting a lot of like wood ash,
Hmm.
wood wood smoke, coals, just like the end of your fire at the end of the night. Yeah, that's how that peat's finishing for me. Very lovely.
Hmm. So yeah, Jeff is ruining Ardbeg for everybody with his answer from Chat GPT there.
Can't like just trust everything that Jeff PT says. Like, gotta
It's
gotta still fact
it's
check it. Like,
yeah. No, no,
where did
his
you
his word
find
is
this
gospel.
stat? I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Do you have a
Wine.
favorite from the first three for the first round through?
Yeah, I think I like the second one.
Hmm.
The 11-year-old I just found very expressive,
Yeah.
um, and kind of balanced, everything connected and worked. Uh, where the third one, I don't know, maybe I'm just not an able to vocabularize some of the sherry
Yeah.
notes, but I also just find it's not my profile. It's not my
Yeah.
favorite. It's kind of one-dimensional. Um,
It is maybe a bit. I quite like it, but I think it's just because it's not what I was expecting
yeah,
more than anything else.
really.
Yeah. Let's go back to Elixir Distillers with the Portiskeag 17. So this is fairly recent bottle to come to us. Arrived at the same time as a few of our single malts of Scotland casks. It's a bottle that we were asked about by a lot of people before it finally arrived, just because we hadn't seen anything new from Portiskeag for quite a while.
Mm.
So the 17-year-old here from the Portiskeag label, most Portiskeag bottlings have been Caol Ila, although there are exceptions to that rule. The Port Askaig 8-year-old, the Port Askaig 100 proof, um, are all suspected to be or likely Caol Ila. They did a Port Askaig 14-year-old that was mostly unpeated a couple of years back, and that was Bunnahabhain. The Port Askaig 19-year-old that they had years ago was Caol Ila, and it was fantastic. I wish they'd bring that one back, but they probably don't have the parcel of casks for that. The Port Askaig 25 is definitely Caol Ila. The Port Askaig 28 is possibly Caol Ila or possibly Lefroy. They're really not sure. And then the Port Askaig 45-year-old was Bunnahabhain once again. But this 17-year-old, very, very likely to be all Caol Ila. It is released or called an Islay single malt, so it is one distillery, 17 years old, 50.5% alcohol on this one.
And all ex-bourbon.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, which is that is the sort of the Caol Ila cask, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Mm.
It's got a
Then
little bit of that lemongrass note that you mentioned on the SMOS.
yeah, I find lemon is a signature to their spirit for me. It's something
Yeah,
I can find in everything they do. Um, Even in the most obscure Caol Ila like casks, I can always seem to find it very distinctly. I really like this the nose. It's very bright.
yeah,
It's kind of welcoming. It also has this like cloth bandage and birthday
yes,
cake note.
yeah. I agree with both. Like it's kind of medicinal, but not super medicinal. I was going to say it reminds me of a note I get on a lot of Kilhoman, especially their 100% Isla range, which is dryer sheets and olive brine. I get both of those on here.
Cool. Got little wisps of markers, like
Yeah,
Sharpie notes.
which is surprising considering it's 17 years old plus.
Mm.
Usually that's on the younger side of things.
Sammy says he's got some mint notes, which is
Yeah,
great.
Tom Rand says Black Forest cake, extra cherries and mint leaves, very nice.
Yeah.
It does have like opening up a can of sardines on the nose there as well for me. Or a tin of sardines, pardon me.
Mm. Well, it's got that note on the palate. It's like very
Yep,
coastal, kippery, sardines.
yep,
So everything's just a little pickled.
yeah. Yeah, the
Sorry.
lemon's there, but it's kind of like taking a backseat to everything else.
Hmm. Hmm. It's like you put the lemon on the fire pit.
Yep,
I'm still getting that like ashy uh wood smoke, wood char note just like across the tongue. There's like a dryness there that just
yeah.
like I'm licking wood coals.
Well, it's also like surprisingly on the palate for me, dunnage heavy. Like it's like licking the walls of a warehouse on Isla, where you get the minerality and this like musty note to it. A little bit vegetal.
Mhm. See, I think you're gonna have to convince Andrew to do another trip to Scotland because I'm not
Yeah,
getting some of these references. Warehouse walls. I wouldn't know. I
yeah.
would love to
Well, I
know.
never licked them, but there were definitely walls at the warehouse at Brookletty where it was like licking these is either going to immunize me from everything or kill me. I'm not sure which one
I will lick them
because it
if
was
it.
just like layers of mold.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't think that's the same level of like penicillin bacteria to
Yeah,
warehouse wall. Like, I don't think it's
that's
as
right. Yeah,
beneficial. Um, but I really
yeah.
enjoy this. This is really clean. I feel like it just, I don't know, prove me wrong down the road, perhaps, but it just doesn't need any other casks than the bourbon.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll definitely have a chance to talk about that with the next two that we're going to get into here. But
I
yeah,
think
first
she's
time I
got
tried this, I was like, well, it's okay. trying it now for the second time, and it's like, wow, this like it's kind of understated, but it's got layers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really lovely. It's really clean. It's beautiful and oily. It's also like robust and in your
Yeah,
face at the same time. Like it's not shy.
no, but
Yeah.
it definitely has this like musty vegetalness, and then like a day old can of or even a day old bottle of Fentimans ginger ale or
Yeah.
ginger beer that you've just left out.
Mm. What a waste.
It's tasty stuff.
No, that's
Okay,
beautiful.
yeah. Well, let's go a little bit younger, and we'll go into the first of our single casts that we selected for KWM. This is the Single Cast Nation Caol Ila 2015 8-year-old, finished in a Brazilian rum cask.
Oh, just a young lad of a whiskey, hey?
Yeah. And one of those, uh, if we looked at the notes before tasting it, we probably never would have gotten it, but then we tried it and it was like, oh, it's just really good. Doesn't matter what it was in.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew
Oh,
especially is not a huge fan of cask finishes, no matter what they're in. Um, Putting it in Brazilian rum seems to be like one of the like you just like did a eeny meeny miny mo on what's the most obscure cask I can get this thing into. But it works. And like kudos to Single Cast Nation. We did a tasting with them, I think it was last year now. Or no, was it March? Yeah, maybe it was
it's
in the
been
spring.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything they did that was in a different cask was great. And their length of finishing and their choice of casks just seems to be fantastic. And this is kind of shows that for me, like where you get the cane notes coming in from the cask, but it's not overpowering, at least not for me. And it just gives
Mm-hmm.
you a slightly different spin on what Caol Ila is capable of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's a little bit sweet just off the nose. There's like a
Yeah,
little sweet. You still get the lemon in there. It's like lemon sugar, lemon candies.
yeah. Lemon, and even lime jujubes for me on the
Mhm.
and wine gums on the nose there.
I'm still getting that kind of chemical, like in
Yep,
like marker,
yeah,
kind of note, a little wood polish.
yep.
Uh,
I
but
agree on
you
all
can
counts.
even take it to like a waxed polish as well.
Yep. It's got full on shoe polish notes in there for me right now.
Yeah.
Some weirdly chemical leathery notes going on in there too, but
Mhm.
also goes a little bit minty, has that cane note in there.
Totally.
Yeah, there's there's something about, and it probably wouldn't work on all with all of them, but that combination of that cane sugar note with Caol Ila's style, I just think works.
You know what this reminds me of is on the palate, just like on the immediately after sipping on the finish there, it's like pamplemousse,
Yeah,
dry, like salt rim on
yeah,
your Paloma or margarita. It's got this
nice.
natural, like dried fruit rind
Yep,
powder and salt.
that's a good call.
Yeah. Um, Doug, I do not believe these are Kasasha casks. Um,
No, it's not cachaça. It was actually it was labeled as Brazilian rum, if I remember correctly. I'll see if I
yeah.
can zoom in on the label there, but that wasn't just them dumbing it down. It was what they had gotten cask wise, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that's right. I think they discussed it more in depth on the Single Cask Nation
Yeah,
bottlers tasting.
yeah. And it wasn't just like they dumped the rum and then put this in. It was a refill cask, refill Brazilian rum barrel as well, it says. So
Okay.
221 bottles of this, 8 years old, 57.4% alcohol. This kind of amps up it doesn't go into the age and dunnage of the Portiskeag 17, but it's got a bit more of that mustiness and this underlying sort of like farmhouse note
You know
to
what?
it.
It reminds me of like a well-worn rubber sole of your sneaker. Like
Mhm.
where it's starting to fall apart and you're like, I
Yeah,
need to buy new shoes, but oh, these are just my favorite shoes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The where you don't just smell it when you put your shoes on, you taste it at the same time. Like you're not licking it. It's just it's in the air to that degree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just gonna fall apart if you step in a puddle. Yeah, it has that kind of must on the finish,
totally.
which I dig.
Yeah, yeah, and it's going back to the nose. It is markers all over the place.
Yeah. Ian says super easy to drink for 57% and young. 100% agreed.
Yeah.
It's a really delicious cask.
Go back to the Portiskeag 17 now, the one just before it, knows it. It is so fruity now and so like grain driven.
Well, you don't say. Well, maybe I just go back one more then. What
Yeah,
happens then?
let's just go back in time.
Oh, now it's like that Manzanilla cask is like,
It's
I don't have, do you know? I don't know anything about sherry and I keep forgetting everything I've learned. It just
yeah,
doesn't stick. But you know how there's like some sherries that have that like
yeah, that floor mold.
floor
Yeah.
disgusting layer? This smells like that.
I can't remember if it does, but it might, because Palo Cortado is the other big one that does, from what I recall. Manzanilla might have a floor mold on it.
Yeah.
But either way, like going back to that one, it's itchy band packets now on the nose. Like the blackberries are gone for me. It's got like shallots and onions and just like that like dehydrated like stock note to it.
Yeah. Very beefy. Uh,
Yep.
and also, yes, salty Play-Doh. Like,
Hmm.
hmm,
The
going.
blackberries are still there on and the Halls note is still there on the palate, but
Yeah.
going back to the SMOS now just for kicks. Kind of like the Portiskeag, where it's more grain driven and more fruity.
Yeah. But the Portiskeag to me has like more like red eraser notes
Yeah,
when I compare the 11 and the 17.
yeah, I can see that. And then I really don't know as much of anything on the Caol Ila 12.
Uh, well, Jeff says that the Manzanilla is produced in a similar way to Fino, but has a thicker floor. So I think
Makes
that's
sense.
where that note is coming through
Yeah,
for me. Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. It's not my favorite, but I suppose I would assume if you're getting that sort of aroma, it's a proper cask, like a proper aging vessel and not just a rinse. Like I feel like that would be hard to achieve when you're just transferring over and over after a few short years. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I know nothing about sherry. Um, but pretty
Yeah,
good so far.
Jeff says Fino Sherry's blah. Uh, but I kind of agree. Apparently fresh Fino can be great, but I've never had a super fresh one.
Yeah.
Um, the Tio Pepe that we get over here or Tio Pepe is not probably the best indicator of what good Fino Sherry is. It's
No,
just bulk.
we've had some good ones.
Hmm.
That Jeff and Eli and I have opened up. But uh,
Cool.
the information doesn't stick in my brain. I
Yeah.
don't know. I have like a grape filter that I
Yeah.
just can't seem to get past.
Yeah. It's grain just pushes it out again. Like it's gone.
Mhm.
You have
Okay.
a Caol Ila tasting and then it all disappears. Let's go
Yeah.
back or on to Scotch Malt Whiskey Society 53.485 Supernaturally Sweet Smoke. So a lot of you are Scotch Malt Whiskey Society aficionados, so you would know what the numbers mean. But to break it down, and I'll share the bottle because it is a pretty cool looking bottle in this case. It's not just your uh, typical SMWS livery, except for the bottle itself, which is green. This is a 13-year-old. It was bottled to celebrate Halloween last year. Um,
What did it tell
and it was
me?
part of the SMWS series that they had. Unfortunately, this one didn't arrive in Canada till well after the Halloween was done, so we never had it in the October outturn then. But this was a transferred into a first fill American oak Oloroso hogshead for 2 years plus from the looks of it. 10 year, yeah, yeah, 2 to 3 years plus. 10 years originally in ex bourbon. And it's been a while since I've had this one, and it could be the label talking, but I remember Halloween candy being all over the place on this one.
Mm.
Like candy corn?
Yeah, yeah. Even going into like those strawberry bonbons for me on the nose right now. Still has that lemon and lemongrass note. But yeah, so the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society has been very prolific in their bottling of Scotch of Caol Ila, as have other independent bottlers. This was their 485th cask to be bottled from the SMWS. So obviously 53.500 is not too far away.
Hmm. Ian says I'm getting lots of candied bacon on the nose. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I'm get a like funny enough, I'm getting more fruit on this. To me,
Yeah,
it just feels more than just lemons. And I had a hard time with the old malt cask, but I feel like yeah, I'm getting more like blackberries and plum, and it's a little bit more
blackberry jam and like blackberry syrup, almost like a light cassis liqueur note on it for me on the nose.
cool. But I do get that meatiness though. That's a
Mhm.
great note.
Yeah, this is kind of like
It's salty.
on the decadent side for the sherry, I would say. Like super rich, tons of fruit notes, even on a palate. Kind of a Nutella spread meets blackberry jam there on the finish for me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
They're all starting to feel like Caol Ila.
Hmm. Yeah, not quite as bad as doing a full-on Octomore tasting, but
Yeah. But I
it's
mean,
too bad there are no unpeated Caol Ilas on the market right now that I'm aware of
yeah, I know
because we
it's
could have
really
tossed that
sad.
in.
I used to love those Stitchel bottlings, and at
Yeah,
times too, you could get I mean some great age statements, and I
yeah, the
don't I don't
50
even
was,
remember
yeah,
what they were bottled at, but I feel like some
yeah,
of them might have been higher ABVs, but I could
I
be
believe they were,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah. Still some old unpeated Diageo special releases out there. Oh,
Mhm.
great. Good. At your house, or are there other more closer and convenient locations?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's been a long
yeah,
time since I've seen those.
yeah. Yeah, party at Doug's house after we riot at Jeff's over his Caol Ila is better than Lafroy, Ardbeg is better than Lafroig's statement.
Yeah, nothing brings a party together than beating up the guy who doesn't pick your whiskey first
That's
before
right.
you get
That's right.
together. Uh,
Mm. I like the sherry on that one, even though it does veer quite a bit sweeter
mhm.
versus the sherry on the OMC cask, personally.
I like what the sherry does to the finish. It
Yeah,
really adds a uniqueness and something different to it than what I've been picking up on the others, which is this really kind of salty, ashy, wood smoke. It tones it down a little bit. It just feels like a little bit, it's nicely blended together, the profile. It's
Yeah, that
nice.
candy note is a lot of fun, and that meatiness is there, but it's not like an off-putting meatiness. It's like a really good like sweet teriyaki beef jerky or something like that. Okay, last but not least, let's go on to the second of the two KWM casks and the oldest of the night for our Caol Ila bottlings in the lineup. This is the Caol Ila 2002 KWM cask, a 22-year-old bottled for us by Gordon and MacPhail. So this, of course, is the bottle. We've definitely featured it in a couple tastings before this, but anytime you get the chance to have a Gordon and MacPhail bottling or a 22-year-old Caol Ila, you kind of got to take it.
Mm-hmm. So I think, I mean, we have some really great store picks right now.
Yeah,
Like
yep.
I'm looking at what we have, and I'm just thrilled with the selection. Like we can
Yep.
make anybody happy on our store picks. But this is a perfect whiskey for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
It honestly, I have not spent a lot of time with this one, which is surprising. It's kind of just been there, and I mean it's easy to sell, so I haven't really had to focus on it, but I haven't had that much time to sort of taste and ruminate on it myself. But man, the nose is gorgeous. It's kind of going into those tropical notes. It's got a more of a green apple note than I recall on any of the other drams before this, Caol Ila wise.
I'm going to say what we're all thinking, Evan, and shame on you for not spending more time with this
Yeah.
whiskey. Doug
Oh,
especially.
yeah.
He's very upset.
Well, I mean, in my defense, we're kind of spoiled for choice for stuff to try
We
at the
really
shop.
are. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could probably drink our single malt of Scotland Tormore 365 like for the next 365 days and be perfectly happy. Just because I love that cast so much. But yeah, this one is stunning, and I am guilty of not focusing on it more, given the nose here. Still has that nice oily brininess, some malt notes in there, some great fruit notes. Golden delicious apple now too, along with that green apple note. Just a touch of pineapple in there coming through.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of that mint and menthol note, something cooling on the nose. Mm,
Yeah, there's some of those Fisherman Friends notes coming through,
yep.
which is
Yeah,
lovely.
even texture-wise on the palate, like the way it finishes on your tongue.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
just been sucking on a lozenge all
yeah.
day.
Like you
Uh,
can hear it. My voice has gotten smoother, like as I've been drinking this. It's impressive.
your radio voice is ready.
That's
Uh,
right.
yeah, so much grilled fruit. It's kind of crazy. And it's like after it's been grilled, you sprinkled some brown sugar on it.
Yeah. And just like a touch of black pepper, just for kicks. Still has that lemon, like a lemon balm in there almost. BALM, not BOMB.
Watchman said the peat is so muted though. I'm trying to decide if that's acceptable.
Well, if it's too muted for you, dump the other KWM cask into it,
I was gonna
and
say
that
drink bigger
should bring it
sips.
up. Yeah,
Drink bigger sips. Um, oh,
yeah, that's stunning.
I love it.
That's like it's not there yet, partially because of age, partially because of different casks, but it's going into. You can see the progression where you get from this to the Port Askaig 25, and then from that to the old bottlings of Caol Ila 30, where the fruit notes are just kind of like stepping up over the time that it rests in cask. and the peat gets like a little bit more muted, as Watchman puts it, or more integrated, perhaps with everything else.
Mhm. And as Doug alluded to in the chat, peat does dissipate with time. It dissipates basically from the minute it gets off the malting floor, I would think. Through travel, through fermentation, distillation, maturation,
Yeah.
it slowly dissipates in its potency. But I mean, and you
Mhm.
can kind of feel that when you go back and like smell the 11 or the 12 or and the 8, I
Yeah.
find a little bit harder to compare it against because it's got this like beautiful sweetness that kind of also
Yeah.
kind of covers up that smoke. But um, yeah, it's something to consider when trying to talk your big smoky friends into something more heavily peated, and then you're like, oh, this 25-year-old's gonna hit all the marks of that Octomore. It's not going to. It'll probably still be excellent, but it'll be a very different experience.
Yeah. It's oh, yeah, that's a killer dram.
If we had just poured 7 drams of this,
Yeah.
we
Everybody
could
be
still
happy.
be
I think
talking about,
everybody's still happy. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
could still talk about Caol Ila a little bit. Um,
I'm just gonna go backwards again through, just instead of doing a lightning round
go
this time
backwards.
around. So let's go back to supernaturally sweet smoke.
Yeah. And because Evan and I think a lot of us have enjoyed Caol Ila on numerous occasions and done conversations of it, if there are any specific Caol Ila distillery-esque like questions that you need answered,
Mhm.
feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about the whiskeys today.
That's great. Doug says, I would highly recommend staying on the grounds of Caol Ila the next time you go. Walking the grounds at night is amazing. So when I was there in 2019, I visited every distillery on Isla that was around at the time, including Gardenoa. Uh, Caol Ila was the only one I didn't get inside of. Well, on Lagavulin, I guess Lagavulin, I only got into the gift shop. Distillery was closed at both. They were just starting to do refurbishments at Caol Ila itself, so we just got to kind of look around the outside, and that was it. There was nobody on site except for workers, like construction guys, so nobody to tell us where we should go or what to do, and nobody told us to leave either. So we just kind of did that and took a few photos, and that was it. Um, I'd love to go back there now that they have like all the renovations done and they have a restaurant on site now too.
Oh, cool.
It'd be pretty
That was my
cool.
next question. I know that they had closed all that down for some time.
Yeah.
But unless you're, VIPs, you might still be able to walk the floor and look at that beautiful view that they have. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know they do tours, but they didn't have a tasting center for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It was more of a gift shop, and then they expanded that quite a bit from what I understand.
Yeah, it's hard to really
Um,
know these things without being there, It's like
that's right.
I need to go. Yeah, Doug, I want to talk with my hands or
Yeah.
however they do it there. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah. That they do that all the time on Isla. Like they're
Just
known for that. Yeah.
um yeah, the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, you really can feel the sherry, taste the sherry going back through. It's a completely different feeling than the
Hmm.
other ones.
Yeah. I'm on the SMOS now again, and it's like
Oh.
that cane note just kind of separates
That's
it from everything else.
single cask nation with the 8-year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the sweetness. It really kind of works.
Yeah, cane juice and even has a little bit of mouthfeel of coconut water right now for me on that one with more brininess.
Mm.
How's that Portiscake 17 holding up?
Oh, oh, it's good. It's like
Yeah,
all
that's a nice
gummy
nose.
bears and jubes now.
Yeah. It's like you had a gummy bear spread on Melba toast. Like it's got this like grainy toasty note to it as well.
That
It's
sounds
it's almost
like a
goes into
girl
that.
dinner.
Yeah, it almost goes into like the peated Loch Lomond has this like starchy cardboardy note to their peat and smoke, and the Portiskeag's getting a bit of that right now for me.
Mm.
Tom, I don't work for the SMWS, but probably because they wouldn't have me.
Um, I would try that gummy bears on Melba toast. You'd have to cook it on a wood
Yep,
smoked fire though to be
that's
authentically
right.
Caol Ila.
Yeah, well, we didn't have the stuff for s'mores, but I've got Melba crackers, gummy bears,
And half a
and
bag of gummy
yeah, yeah,
bears. What
yeah,
colors
and
do
cream
you
cheese
want?
spread. So we're gonna make something here. Yeah.
I said if the first time you said it, I said that sounds like such a girl dinner where you get like a couple crackers and Melba toast on the side, a little spoonful of gummy bears.
Tom says, please look for Haribo sugar-free gummy bear reviews. That sounds like an absolute abomination.
Why would they?
I know, like if you're gonna
Syrups.
have sugar, have sugar. I will have to check out those reviews afterwards because I'm curious, but I that just like sends shivers up my spine thinking
It
of that
makes me
combination.
sad, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I've also had samples
Meanwhile, there's
and
diabetics
whiskey.
around the world just saying like, fuck you guys.
I was just gonna say, sorry, little Timmy with diabetes, you just
That's
don't
right.
get gummy bears. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's not for you. Enjoy your Melba toast.
Oh, it's got a little bit of root beer candies or cola bottles right now on the nose now too. That
Yeah.
I really like that Portiskeag.
The Portiskeag is lovely. It's no Kensington Wine Market G&M though.
No, it's like juicier though on the palate when you go back to it.
A guy tried to leave the store today without buying anything after I was nice to him for like 3.5 whole minutes. And I called him out on trying to leave the store. And I was like, you come back here and try my whiskey. And I poured him this. And he bought it and left and
Nice,
said that I'm probably going to hear from his wife later.
nice.
And I was like, cool, just make sure she calls
Yeah,
after 6
yeah.
because I won't be there.
He meant like a thank you letter, like thank you. I'm glad you got my husband to buy this because I absolutely love this dram.
She might, who knows?
Yeah,
But I was giving him, you know how I like to verbally abuse all of our customers.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like, how dare you come in here and not buy something? Get back here.
yeah,
Yeah, you just have to smell this, our G&M, and you're happy. Your day just
yeah.
got better.
That's I tell all customers that I'm the metal glove or the velvet glove and you're the iron gauntlet.
Um, I like that. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
That's good.
The OMC.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I know.
Guys, it's like we're an hour into the tasting and look how well she's done.
Because I'm drinking Caol Ila.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it
about
solves
to
all
say
problems.
nasty
Yeah.
things with this manzanilla cask, but I'll
Yeah.
reserve.
It's kind of
Um,
gotten back to blackberries. Like it's not as like itchy band packet as it was that with the what is was it right after the Portiskeag there.
yeah,
Still does has like just a touch of gun smoke coming through there though.
smells like a wet towel.
Yeah. Struck matchsticks now on the nose for me. I liked it the first time around, and it's kind of like gone down a level each time I've tried something else, unfortunately.
I feel like this is the type of whiskey you sell the guy that thinks cigars need a smoky pairing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
halfway through the bottle, he's not going to notice how much it changed. He's going to keep
that's fair.
smoking and drinking and be totally happy with himself. But it does actually remind me a little bit like there's definitely an Isla coastal like funk to this,
Yep.
but it does remind me of some like Cabernet cask finish
Yeah. Yep.
like whiskeys with
And
like a
it
little
kind
bit of
of veers
smoke.
into the oily, rubbery Lecheg notes that Jeff just loves so much.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Back to the SMOS.
Sure. And then Jordan would like to know if you could elaborate a little bit more on our Tormore cask. It's
Yes.
delicious.
Yeah. It's if you haven't had Tormore, Jordan, and granted, not a lot of people know of it as a distillery. It hasn't been around for long, and then it's changed hands recently too. But that Tormore single cask is like a superb, like fruity, juicy dram. It's just fantastic. Uh, hope if you live near us, come in and try it. And otherwise just buy one and trust us on it because it's a fantastic dram. Doug's nodding his head along. I'm sure I can get a second or third on that as well.
Jordan, where do you live? Email me.
Yeah. Sam seconds what I said, and he doesn't work with it for us directly. Checks in the mail though, Sammy, so appreciate that. Watchman thinks the Liquid 13 was better. It's I can't disagree. Like I think it's really good. The Tormore is my preference, but the palate, the silkiness of that palate on the Liquid is fantastic. It's a great cask as well.
Hmm.
Uh, Peanut butter on burnt toast wrapped in seaweed. That's a great note, Harmony.
If you just want like a fast meal, you just wrap it all up into
Hmm.
one bite.
Yeah, that holds up. Still
Definitely.
kind of surprised it's sherry, but then we go
Man,
back to finish with some Isla water with the Caol Ila 12.
it smells really nice though.
It does.
The
It's got
12,
that
like,
like a more like floral bouquet to it now.
yeah. And a little bit of like sour candies, like even like cola syrup. I don't know. There's something in there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fuzzy peaches. I'm not sure. Oh no, now it's sausages. Crazy. Like applewood
Yeah,
smoked
just
sausages.
it seems like it was just bottled a little too low. Um, I mean, again, going from cast strength to that is difficult at the best of times, but when you're used to cast strength whiskeys and get to do so many tastings like this too, it's often hard to go back to official bottlings in a lot of cases, not just with Caol Ila, but with plenty of other distilleries as well.
I think my only upset with this is just how everything, I mean, it's actually not so bad, but last night I felt like you had this like fruit and savoriness on the 12, and then you had the smoke come in second on the finish. Um,
Yeah,
and it just felt a little disconnected, like the smoke
yeah,
was added after
yeah.
almost. I don't know why that is. But
It
maybe
reminds
fire
me of
suggests.
uh, kind of. I remember someone talking about Merlot as a wine at some point, and I don't necessarily agree with what they said, but it always stuck with me how they said it was like a donut, where like everything around it, nose is really great, palate's really great, but it's missing something in the middle. And I
Yeah.
think that kind of like is what the Caol Ila 12 is missing, is just it's missing the Timbit, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that Timbit is another 3% plus alcohol, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. At least. But it's
On
not
the
a
upside, I
bad
mean,
whiskey.
based on color, they sure didn't add a whole lot of coloring to it,
It
if
feels
they
more
did.
expressive now than it was when I first poured it out of the glass.
Hmm. I think the nose is just fine. I think
Yeah.
it's the palate again. the weak link.
I think so. Yeah, it disappointed me. I was like, well, thank God you converted me all those years ago, because if someone tried to pour this for me now and was like, oh, try this great
Yeah.
pour line 12-year, I would be like, psh, smack
So
that
I
button.
think everybody has this. If you're into whiskey, is everybody has their you can't go home again dram, that dram that they fell in love with at a previous time, and they
Mhm.
revisit it, and it's just not the same.
This is
I
this
think
for me.
everybody, especially once you get into single cask and cask strength, like everybody gets to that point where they go back to revisit something, and it's just like it's not what it once was, and it's not it that changed, it's you, man. You changed.
Right. I think Tom is signing in on every device he owns to vote for Linkwood again.
Nice.
Just kidding. He thinks I can't see him, but he has like
That's right. Yeah.
4 different cell
Yeah.
phones. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Work phone, home phone. Yeah.
He dialed the last one
Yeah.
in.
Honey, are you using the tablet? Can you bring the tablet over, please?
Press 4 for Linkwood. Beep.
Yeah. 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 This isn't like a voting for America's Got Talent. Like it's far more important. So we prefer that you don't do it more than once.
Who wrote this questionnaire? Ooh, I don't understand the question. Funny.
Okay, last person, you got let's say 10 seconds to vote. Harmony, before we look at everything, what are your do you want to give a top three or a top two?
Okay, I can do this. I can do 3.
Yeah.
Gordon MacPhail, Caol Ila, 2002, no brainer. And then honestly, it's kind of a toss up, but I'm gonna go with Single Cask Nation, 8-year rum for my second, and the Single Malts of Scotland 11 for my third.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
I will share your number one. I agree on the G&M 2002. I'm glad I actually got to spend a little bit of time with it this time. That is a fantastic dram. And yes, I am guilty of not talking about it and tasting it more earlier.
Mhm.
My second favorite is the Port Askaig 17.
Cool.
Another one where I just tasted in passing and it was like, yeah, it's okay, but I feel like it's kind of missing something. But man, um, you go back through the lineup and go backwards in the lineup, and it still holds up and it gets juicier
Mhm.
and fruitier with time, which is fantastic. My third favorite SMOS is close, but I'm going to take the single cask nation just because that rum cask just gives it a little bit of that funk, which
Mhm.
I quite like getting on some of the whiskey I have. Um,
It makes me want to try it in like a Jamaican rum cask, like something
yeah,
really funky.
like Super Dundry. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, can you ruin it? Can it be
yeah.
done? Yeah.
So we did get most people voting here. First
Good.
favorite of the night is I should have broken it up more now in hindsight. It was the GNMCC by quite a bit. Uh, Second place is the Port Askaig 17. Third place is the Single Cask Nation KWM cast. Nothing else got a vote. Um,
We
the
just know
GNM
how to
Kalila
pick
just soaked it
cats,
up.
I feel
Yeah.
like. We're kind
Yep.
of, we know what we're doing sometimes.
Yep. It's look at all the casts you do. Like you throw enough shit at the wall and something's gonna stick, right?
Mm.
Don't tell Andrew I said that. Second favorite of the night.
What is
Portiskeag
the third
17 took it.
question?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Portiskeag 17 took it, followed by Single Cask Nation and Supernaturally Sweet Smoke.
Cool.
Third question. If Kalila is the most consistent and difficult to mess up Isla single malt, which distillery is its mainland equivalent? Uh, First place with 9 votes was Linkwood, big production distillery, same owner, cherished for blends, makes great indie bottlings. It's the mainland Kalila. I totally agree. I
Mhm.
wrote this, so of course I agree. Um, Second place is Glen Murray. You can put that shit in any cask and it comes out as a wonderful whiskey. I also agree with that. I think that in the same way Kalila is a chameleon, Glen Murray is a chameleon, and you can just, it doesn't matter what you do with it, it seems to come out smelling like roses. The Dalmore one was just poking fun at Dalmore.
I
And
know. I
then
was
the
like, that's
Alberta
just me. Why?
Distillers one.
We're
Yeah.
having a serious conversation here. Why would you ruin it?
Yeah. Why would you say Delmore? Yeah. And then I said Alberta Distillers just because I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty good.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
best distilleries on mainland Scotland.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
since we have some engaged people, hopefully I hope your keyboard band. I have a question that's been
Yeah.
popping up more and more often. And as consumers, I would like to know your take on it. Does an age statement matter, or is it consistency and a new expression that is more exciting to you? Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a really good question.
Uh,
And I think there's a ton of different answers that you can get from that.
Doug, are you being super serial right now? Yeah. I knew it. You're super serial. Yeah, I was just curious. Obviously all of the whiskeys we've had tonight have an age statement attached. I was
Mhm.
just curious to know, like, if you were given this 12-year at 43%, and then imagine the SMOS was an NAS but at 48,
Yeah.
what would be your preference?
Like say, yeah, or even like the Port Askaig 100 proof
Right.
or
Yeah.
Finlog and cast strength. I guess it's kind of apples to oranges at that point, even though it's the same distillery, but
Yeah, but obviously, I mean, if you're putting things in a lineup and you're just looking, most of us are just going to go for the biggest number on the table. Um,
yep.
whether you know the brand or not, you're just going to pick the highest number. Even if it's 40%, I think most people would choose the 30-year-old at 40% than the NAS at 57%.
Yeah. I think it also depends on the style of whiskey. Like it just makes me think too that like for me, I find peated whiskey is far more forgiving at a young age. So having an NAS peated whiskey
Hmm.
is to me is going to be more enticing than an NAS or no age statement unpeated whiskey, where
Yeah.
peat and smoke can hide a lot of flaws. Was that at your throwing at your boyfriend or at your dog?
Yes. No. Can you hear him? You can't hear him? I know it's
No.
much better at blocking out sound, but I can hear him. He's
Yeah.
digging for gumballs in a glass container. Apparently, the gumball on the top wasn't the right gumball.
Oh, it was green. You wanted
He
blue.
needs the one at the bottom.
Been there.
I was just
Well, mark that
curious.
off on your bingo card if you have it, guys.
I didn't mute myself. Unless that's a new card, a new tile that I haven't seen. But I
Yeah.
was just curious because I was chatting with a guy and he only wanted age statements. Um, it wasn't for an occasion or any specific reason. And I tried so hard to like show him other things, even with age statements, but just not like a 12 or a 15. And he just was like, no, that Ben Romette cast strength 2013 doesn't mean anything to me. But tell me about this 15.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's fantastic too. But like, it's totally fine that we all have our own quirks and reasons for buying the things that we buy, and we have a right to put our money where we want. I was just very curious to know, like, if we did a bottling and said, the next Walter's Choice Batch 2 NAS,
Yeah.
will that matter?
It might if it was $600.
Right? No, it's still 500.
That's right. So I kind of agree with Tom here. Tom said mostly I don't think age matters, but when someone like McAllen takes age statement away from some markets but leave it on others, like they did a few years ago with the 1824 series, it's a bit of a nose in the air nonsense. Agreed.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I think the biggest issue when there is no age statement is when you get into some crazy pricing that goes along with some no age stated whiskeys, especially when you're looking at like Diageo special releases, for instance.
Mhm.
And I was actually pretty impressed, although not with the pricing, but that all of the 2025 Diageo special releases have an age statement to them,
Mhm.
which considering what they did with the Mort Lock a couple of years ago, which was just like an absolute abomination. And then hopefully we don't have any more of this to sell. but it was like
We don't.
$400. It
We
was
don't.
like, it was incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
And it's always disappointing when you see stuff like that where you're not giving consumers anything to go on. Not that age is everything, but you're giving them nothing to go on, and then the like a relatively high three-figure price point for the bottle.
Yeah.
That's just mysterious. That's just
Yeah.
infuriating. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. I one of the I've had another conversation today with somebody about age statements, but they were of a new brand, new distillery, new bottler, and they were
Mhm.
wondering how much it mattered. And I said to them, I understand as a new distillery, you want to put an age statement out there to differentiate yourself from the other
Mhm.
new distilleries. I said, but in the long run, is that going to hinder you from making a consistent product? If you're trying to do a return of that product, like, oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
call it a 5 year and next year we're going to bottle another 5 year. Is that 5 year mandatory age going to limit you from your options within your warehouse to create
Mhm.
that blend? And I said, as a new distillery, I get the cachet of age statements, but I think the focus should be on consistency, or at least recognizing the differences between your releases and allowing them to each be different until maybe you can create something more consistently that's not going to hinder you from building a customer base. I could be wrong. Um, and other people may feel differently, but I think there's a reason why a lot of new distilleries don't come out and say we're 4 years and we're 5 years, because they're still trying to figure themselves out.
Not to go too far down that road, but I think in that case, what I would love to see is one, if you're a young distillery, don't worry about having a flagship bottling for one.
I
Like
agree.
worry about that when you have stuff that's 10 years old and more consistent.
Mhm.
Embrace your inconsistency and just put out small batches of stuff. It's what Two Brewers has done incredibly well, in my opinion. Small
Yeah,
batches, small amounts, and don't worry about putting out the same thing all the time. Uh, Troubled Monk has done something in the similar fashion.
they
Uh,
do put age statements on it though,
True. But
but they're
I
very
I would be
small.
okay with vintage statements. Like give
Yeah,
me a vintage date and a bottling date and let me do the math. Because I think that makes it seem more special and it's not worrying about like, oh, it's not a 12.
right.
You're showing that this is something a little bit more unique that you're getting into instead of just we've
Yeah.
put 10,000 bottles of this on the market kind of
Right.
thing.
Well, that it's true because I pointed at one of their bottles today. I said, this is my favorite. The guy goes, really? It's a 3, not you like the 3 over the 6? I said, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I'm just tasting. For my palate today, that's where I'm leaning. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for entertaining my questions.
Yeah.
Um, I found that recently we've had a lot of new customers in the store, and they're not as all passionate and educated like you guys are, and as set in their ways. And so they're learning from. I find a lot of it. They're watching other YouTubers, and
Yeah.
it's creating this like tunnel vision for them. And I
Yeah.
would like to learn how to like get them out
Combat
of
it.
that.
Yeah.
Like have your own opinions and build your own opinions and not just follow blindly because of their followers, their number of followers. So yeah, I often just recommend, like you said, Jeff, like send them to the tastings. Absolutely. Um, but it can be frustrating because I just want to shake him and be like, everything is wrong.
So once you learn how to like deal with that and combat it as Doug goes full on techno on us, uh, figure out how to solve. I've had a few customers come up to me and tell me that they do not drink independent bottlings,
Yeah.
like only official bottlings, where it's just like, oh man, like you're just like barely scratching the surface of what's available and you're not getting any depth. Like there's so much that you're just leaving on the table. And I'm not saying like you have to be like one of us and people in this group where you have to taste everything. But man, you are missing out.
Yeah. And why not? If you love, I'll go ahead. If you love Delmore, try the Indie Delmore by Gordon MacPhail. Like, just try it. I know, Doug,
Absolutely.
it's a thing and it's all bourbon.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to buy it so I can try it. I'm too scared to buy it.
Well, I've had ex-bourbon Delmore from the SMWS. That was really cool, but it was like nothing like you would expect because it just
Yeah.
hadn't been Methuselamed to oblivion, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. And or Cabernet cask for the smoke.
Doug's asking if the hat I'm wearing is available at KWM.
Is
If
it?
I'm in store and wearing it and not paying attention, you might be able to get one. But beyond that, there is a website where you can order stuff like this, isn't there, Jeff? Is
Wow.
that spiritsforus.ca?
Yes, it is. Catalog
Thank
slash
you.
all hyphen products.
Yeah. Checks in the mail on that one, right, Jeff? I did a
Right.
good job. Thank you.
I'll wear
Perfect.
my other shirt tomorrow at the other
That's right.
tasting. Yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining us for the Caol Ila tasting. We probably could have, or I could have gotten more into the history and stuff, but I think it's the whiskey that's more fun anyways.
We're here for
I
the
hope you
whiskey.
guys, yeah, not for the talent, that's for sure. But the drams were fantastic, as you would expect from Caol Ila. Again, hard to
Yeah.
screw something like this up. Uh, we'll definitely have to do another lineup in the future. Cheers, everybody, and thank you to Harmony for joining me.
Cheers, Evan.